Imagine you are standing on an edge. Maybe it is the physical edge of a high cliff, or maybe it is just the metaphorical edge of your sanity after hearing the 15th email notification in the last hour. Your heart starts to hammer against your ribs, your palms get damp, and your stomach ties itself into a tight, hard knot. Congratulations. You have just activated a survival mechanism that kept our ancestors from becoming a saber-toothed tiger's lunch. The problem is that in 2026, we have replaced tigers with deadlines, traffic jams, and credit card statements. Stress is a word we treat like a dirty secret or a badge of honor, usually tossing it into conversation with a heavy sigh. But what is it really? If we were to use a comparison from everyday life, stress is like the engine in your car. When you rev it up to overtake another vehicle, you are doing exactly what the machine was built for. The engine roars, the car surges forward, and you reach your goal. But imagine if you drove at those maximum RPMs for 8 hours a day, 7 days a week. Eventually, something under that hood is going to start smoking. According to research from Harvard Health, this isn't just a feeling of being overwhelmed. It is a complex, lightning-fast chemical cascade. The moment you perceive a threat, your hypothalamus, which is a tiny region at the base of your brain, sets off an alarm system. This signal tells your adrenal glands to release a flood of hormones, primarily adrenaline and cortisol. Adrenaline kicks your heart rate and blood pressure into high gear to deliver more energy to your muscles. Meanwhile, cortisol, often called the primary stress hormone, increases the glucose in your bloodstream and alters your immune system responses. In this state, your body thinks you are in a life or death struggle. You aren't thinking about what is for dinner or that funny meme you saw earlier. You are thinking about one thing: survival. Here lies a truth that might surprise you. Stress is not actually your enemy. It is a sophisticated tool. Psychologists often talk about eustress or positive stress. This is the surge of energy you feel before a first date, a big presentation, or a skydive. Without it, life would be like a meal without salt, bland, uninspiring, and lacking energy. Stress is what motivates us to finish a project at 2 a.m, or to slam on the brakes when a car pulls out in front of us. It is an adaptive mechanism telling your body that this matters, and you need to pay attention. The trouble starts when this state becomes your new normal. This is what researchers call chronic stress, or distress. In nature, stress is usually brief. A gazelle either escapes the lion and goes back to grazing peacefully within minutes, or the stress ends permanently. We humans, however, have the unique and somewhat cursed ability to keep stress alive in our minds long after the physical threat has passed. We replay an argument from 3 days ago as if it is happening right now. We worry about things that might happen a year from today. As noted in Nature Review's Neuroscience, our bodies cannot easily tell the difference between a real predator and a vivid imagination, so they keep the cortisol tap running. This chronic exposure is where the danger lies. Research shows that prolonged high levels of cortisol can actually wear down the brain. It can damage neurons in the hippocampus, which is the area responsible for memory and learning. This is why, when you are chronically stressed, you cannot remember where you put your keys, or you struggle to learn a new skill. You aren't getting dumber. Your brain is simply stuck in survival mode, and survival mode does not care about long-term memory. The American Psychological Association highlights that this constant tension takes a massive physical toll. When you are stressed, your muscles tense up all at once to protect themselves from injury. If they never get the signal to relax, you end up with tension headaches, back pain, and chronic fatigue. Furthermore, your heart is forced to work harder for longer periods, which increases the risk of hypertension and even heart attacks. It is like keeping your car's engine redlined while you are just sitting in the driveway. It is a recipe for a breakdown. But I do not want you to start stressing about the fact that you are stressed. That would be a vicious cycle. The key to success is not eliminating stress entirely, because that is impossible and, honestly, not even desirable. The secret to a good life is being in tune. Think about the strings on a guitar. If they are too loose, you cannot get a single note out of them. No music is made. But if you tighten them too much, they will eventually snap. You want to be just tight enough to perform effectively, but flexible enough to vibrate. So, how do we do this in the middle of a chaotic world? One of the most fascinating studies on this comes from Stanford and Harvard researchers, including health psychologist Kelly McGonigal. They found that the way you think about stress changes how your body reacts to it. In a massive study, people who experienced high levels of stress but did not view stress as harmful had the lowest risk of dying, even lower than people who had very little stress. When you feel your heart pounding before a challenge, instead of telling yourself that you are freaking out, try telling yourself that your heart is pumping more oxygen to your brain so you can think faster. This is not just positive thinking, it is a biological reframe. When you view the stress response as helpful, your blood vessels stay relaxed instead of constricting. You are still stressed, but your cardiovascular profile looks more like someone who is experiencing joy or courage. Another practical tool is something we often take for granted: breathing. As documented by various medical journals, deep, diaphragmatic breathing physically stimulates the vagus nerve. This nerve is the off switch for your fight or flight response. It tells your brain that the lion has left the room. Within 60 seconds of slow, deep exhales, you can physically change the chemistry in your bloodstream. It also helps to look at your life like a diversified investment portfolio. The Mayo Clinic emphasizes the importance of social support and physical activity. If you invest all your self-worth into just one thing, like your career, then every work-related stressor becomes an existential threat to your identity. But if you have safe harbors like hobbies, strong friendships, or a daily workout routine, the stress is distributed. Exercise is particularly vital because it mimics the fight or flight response in a controlled way. When you run on a treadmill, your body uses up that extra glucose and adrenaline. When you finish, your body receives the signal that the hunt is over, and it enters a state of deep relaxation. Stress is a fundamental part of the human experience. It is the price we pay for things that matter. If nothing stressed you out, it would mean nothing in your life had any significance. You would not care about your job, your family, or your future. So the next time you feel that familiar flutter in your chest, do not try to crush it. Acknowledge it. Thank your body for trying to help you survive, and then take the steering wheel back. Remember, you aren't just a passenger in this biological machine. You are the driver. You can shift gears, you can take your foot off the gas, and sometimes you just need to pull over for a moment to let the engine cool down. We are designed to do hard things. We are built of tissue that regenerates under moderate pressure. Your character, like your muscles, grows when it is challenged. Don't fear the stress. Learn to dance with it. Because it is that very tension, that delicate balance between the roar of the engine and the quiet of the park, that creates the most beautiful melody of all, the story of your life. Thank you so much for watching. If this deep dive into the science of stress helped you see your daily challenges in a new light, please hit the like button. It really helps the channel grow and allows us to share these insights with more people who might be feeling overwhelmed. What is your go-to method for handling a high-pressure situation? Do you have a specific routine or a way of thinking that helps you stay in tune? Let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear your story. If you want to keep exploring the fascinating ways your mind and body work together, make sure to subscribe and click the bell icon so you never miss a video. For more on mental health, resilience, and living a balanced life, check out this video right here on the screen. Until next time, take a deep breath and keep moving forward.